Myself, Dr Mahudin Chowdhury, Co-Ordinator Child Alive Program, Bangladesh. Speaking about the Child Alive Program activities in Bangladesh. The Child Alive Program started in Bangladesh in the year 1985, from the May 1985, and first we chose a place near coastal area of Bangladesh, and that is Sonagazi, and the project, the village was Chorchandia under Feni district. And this is a coastal area. The people of this area have got their separate, little separate culture than the other people, and mostly tide affected area or tide influenced area. The first, when the project was chosen, and there was a demographic survey there, and that baseline survey was completed in the year 86 January. In the baseline survey, the findings were recorded, compiled, and following which the strategies and plan of activity was designed. And virtually the real activity started in the month of July 1986, and the first thing started was control of diarrhea, teaching of mothers, and following this, the immunization program started, as well as the other thing, nutrition activities like teaching the mothers about the locally available cheap food, fruits and vegetables was also in the kind of demonstration. And this, after that, we had a monitoring survey, child survey, and we found that there is definite change, particularly in diarrheal episodes, as well as the mother's knowledge about the diarrheal disease, basic informations like these common signs and symptoms of diarrhea, the signs and symptoms when the patient is to be referred, and home management of diarrhea by oral dehydration salt or homemade solution. So when we found that the mothers were gradually picking it up and also they accepted the immunization, then only we wanted to increase the beneficiaries. And accordingly, for 1987, we have proposed for another about 4,000 population to be added in the project area, and that is in demonstration area. This is the first component of our Child Alive program, and the second component is our training program. So training program will mainly include, once again, the same thing, diarrhea, some informations about diarrhea, and immunization program.
But your
training program
intended for whom?
Training program is for particularly for the Red Cross youths. There are about more than 150,000 Red Cross youths are in this country, and they are mostly college and school students. And CPP, that is Cyclone Preparedness Programme volunteers, who are mainly based in the coastal areas. This year we have planned to train up about 20,000 youths and about 6,000 CPP volunteers. This is not yet decided. It is just planned. Now it is up to approval of league, and when the fund will come and the agreement will be made, and then only the implementation will start. It is only planned.
So if I understand well, there is really two separate programs, however they deal with the same subject. One is the
demonstration
training on the field, and the other one is training volunteers and for youth and CPP.
CPP volunteers.
Okay, so but that's somehow two different wings of
two different wings. Demonstration is project is for just to acquire our own experience. What happens once if we start implementation, and on this experience of the demonstration project, we want to imply it to the training field. In the training, the ideas of our training to this years is to disseminate the knowledge. Say, if one youth will be able to teach 5 mothers, that means 100,000 youths can teach 500,000 of mothers. That is what is our idea. At the same time, this is a big network, and you know the immunization for the vaccine preventable diseases, the government and WHO has got a target for the Bangladesh and this. And for this program, what we want to do, these volunteers will be used for the motivation, as well as they will inform the vaccinator, and they will maintain liaison between vaccinator and the beneficiaries. They will bring out the children from the villages, and from there they will help the vaccinator to get the children, because in most of the areas the mothers usually do not bring out or do not wish to bring out the children from the houses for vaccine immunization.
Why?
So yes, this is the question. Firstly, they have lack of education, and naturally they think that the vaccine preventable diseases mostly think that these are something special diseases which is directly from the God. Particularly Hindus believes in more in it. And say measles. The other name of measles in Bengali is Basanto. Basanto. Bashanta. Basanto is a season, and at the same time, the name of one Hindu goddess is Basanto. So they think that this goddess gives this disease, and therefore they say it is Basanto. This is about chickenpox. Say. So in this way, this religious prejudice somewhere. Secondly, mostly they are dominating. I mean to say, in our country, no mother can come out without the permission of their husband, and at the same time some leaders of the house. So once they are motivated, if the husband do not allow them, or the mother-in-law do not allow, in that case it is problem for them. They cannot bring the children. So in that case, naturally, these Red Cross youth volunteers, they belong to the same locality. They can play some influence over their own people, and it will be most helpful for them to bring out them. And yes.
I would like to ask you now, it's to go back to the beginning of the project in Changazi. What is the name exactly?
Chorchandia.
And the other name? The general name?
Sonagazi Dispojela.
If you can tell me, as you have already told me, how you choose this specific place, based on which criteria, and which was your previous experience and knowledge of the area?
I was fortunate to attend an unfortunate happening there, and that was this 1985 natural disaster there, which took place there. And you know that following disaster, usually an epidemic follows, and particularly diarrheal epidemic. From Bangladesh Red Cross Society.
Why exactly? I mean, I know that.
This is due to contamination of water, particularly contamination of water. And yes, when tide comes, there is the all water is contaminated. And you know that at that time the cattle or sheep, goats, and human beings, mostly they die. And naturally, when they die, their dead bodies becomes rotten, and the whole water system becomes polluted. And as a result, an epidemic follows. At the same time, sometimes due to this food which comes from so many places, and that also most of the time becomes contaminated. Sometimes from remote corner, people are sending the foods, and most of the people at that time, they're very hungry, so they're eating, and they cannot cook even because the situation does not permit so. Tide was there 2 days back, and this fireplace is not there, firewood is not there. So uncooked food, ready-made cooked food, or this using the foods which is some become rotten or day old, 2 days old, and all these causes may cause these diarrheal episodes at that time or diarrheal epidemic there. So naturally, when there is a their place also was not escaped from this diarrheal disease, and I was working there, and I opened a base hospital or field hospital there in the area. I found there are so many people who had diarrheal episodes, and even this league president also visited the place, and he also saw that even a child of 1 year was having so much diarrhea at that time. I was giving the child a saline, even not the oral one, but the intravenous solution. It was so dehydrated. So on seeing this, I thought that in other places, most places are communicated with some roads communication, and these people are tide influenced people. In that place, when a tide comes, you know that in month several times this tide water comes to this. When a tide comes to these places, there is no communication from one village to another because of the submersion of water. And they have to wait for few hours so that tide pass off, and then only they can come. So, and for this reason, unless the mothers are knowing about this easy and this easy available treatment about the diarrhea, so naturally they will be waiting till tide pass off, and then they will bring their children to hospital or to a physician, or they can take medicine or drugs or whatever it may be. Therefore, I thought these mothers should be trained so that if they are trained for the use of this local homemade solution or ORS, whatever it may be, at least when the tide comes, they can start the rehydration of the child. And therefore, whatever the diarrheal type may be there, even if it is an infectious bacterial diarrhea, at that time, if rehydration is maintained, at least mother can get some time to contact a doctor or to hospital if required.
But the time can delay a mother for how many hours?
Even 10 hours, 8 hours. Yes,
8 to 10 hours.
8 to 10 hours. And that is what, that gave me much importance of selecting that site. And secondly, this site is little bit away from this Dhaka city or towns or cities. So naturally, the mothers are less acquainted with the modern informations. And I found that there are so many mothers who, though, are supposed to know by this time this LDS or ORS, but not yet learned. And in my first survey, I found out of 1840 population, total population, the only one child was immunized. And that also he came to Dhaka, and
from the beginning, that would be an interesting point, because
in health sector, in most of the programs, you will find almost same. And Bangladesh Red Cross maximum activity with the primary health care, and this primary health care is the one which is the main strategy of the WHO that is Health for All by 2080. And we have got so many projects. This Chandpur project, sponsored by Danish Red Cross. This another one, Khulna project, Japan Red Cross, Slum project in Japan Red Cross, Child Alive program sponsored by League of Red Cross. So naturally, only strategies are little different. Some are static form and some are not static form. So Child Alive is not a static form project. It is just a demonstration project, and we have the separation or the separate identity is that our strategy, we do not appoint a personnel to work directly or involved there. We use volunteers mainly in our projects. We realize this is their own problem. Let the community understand their problem and let the community solve their problem. And we act as a buffer, just buffer.
Yeah,
We inform them.
Somehow the project I visited yesterday, it's also based on volunteers. These projects which have been developed from those rural maternity centers.
Yes, they have the service, they are mainly service oriented.
Okay, that's a difference. But
yes,
they have a big variety of things which are the same one like
and yes, that they had to take this strategy because there is a hospital or something like maternity or child center, static or hospital based there. So midwives are working there. Most of the ladies from the villages, they do not come. In our country there are a network of hospital, but underutilization of the service.
Oh, really?
Yes. So you will find that the EPI vaccinator is there, vaccine is there, children population are there, but the rate of vaccination is very low. The reason is that a gap between this. That means want of motivation and education. So who will motivate and who will train? This is what we have taken this little responsibility on it. We are not using any of logistics like vaccine or vaccinator, nothing is there. We just teach the mothers, we make them understand that this is the thing they require. Then when the mothers realize that this is what they need, then they put the demand to the physician, locally available government physician. The government physician arranges their vaccination. We do not just bring out the child and give or by ourselves, not we are giving. It is only the government EPI people, government hospital, they are giving. And we maintain a liaison. We inform the mothers, this is the thing available nearby to your hospital, and these are the facilities offered by the government, and you can utilize it. And if you utilize, what will be the benefits? These are the wordings we try to just aware them in respect of their health. And when they convince, they come out, they ask for the vaccination. This is all. So naturally, the strategies are little different. So in the static hospital, they are mainly service oriented. They give little service to the people in other aspects, also maternity, family planning, child health, and all this. But in Child Alive, we had three things: diarrhea, nutrition, and immunization only. And we do not have any service orientation.
Yeah.
We all are based on motivation and health education. And we probed from our Child Alive program that the percentage before our intervention of immunization was 0.36%, and that has increased to 30%.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Quite
So,
good result.
yes. And some other points also I can tell you how it was. In March 1986 and October 1986, in March 1986 we saw that number of mothers no correct preparation of LGS, this homemade solution, was only 30. When we started just informing the mothers or teaching the mothers, we had another survey and we saw that after the survey it is 73.85% are knowing the preparation of LGS. Like this, so many things were
LGS is exactly
Laban Gur Sharbat.
which means
This salt,
Yes.
sugar solution,
or you
homemade
call
solution.
it salt, sugar, solution.
Yeah,
Okay.
a homemade solution. In this way, so many things were being changed in the area. So now we want to use that experience in a greater field. This is what is main our activity, and this child alive activity, particularly in Bangladesh, and practically we will start in the 1987 the mass training, so that the child alive will be able to serve in a greater field, and particularly in rural fields.
But you told me also the other day that you would like to increase the program, like teaching also some environmental sanitation and things like that.
Yes. In this respect, the environmental sanitation we include in teaching for the prevention of the diarrheal disease or causation of the diarrheal disease. But we do not provide them these structures of latrine or supportings of latrine or tubules. And therefore, we show them the path where it is available, the source where it is available. You know, this sometimes the government of Bangladesh, with the help of UNICEF, they give design latrine, safe latrine. They supply with a reduced rate, tubules in a reduced rate. We try to help our people by just informing them where it is available, and sometimes we maintain some liaison between them to bring them in the town. We ask the people, concerned people, as that they need so. We create a demand amongst them, and they themselves bring it. It is nothing directly we are concerned. We are just informing, like that one, immunization where it is available, latrine where it is available, safe water how it is available. And one thing you were asking me about this experience or some things. Experience in this respect, earlier to this, when I first joined in Bangladesh Red Cross Society, and I was working, first deported to work there in the cyclone disaster area. In my life, I was a medical registrar, assistant registrar in a medical college hospital, and I passed there 3.5 years. And during the time, I saw so many deaths.
Where exactly?
At Sylhet Medical College.
Oh, yes.
After that, I was in Iran Red Cross, and I saw that this time of revolution, Iran revolution also, and so many things. But two types of deaths, really just shaken me there. One I found when I saw a dead body, just came with the tide, following tide. A mother who have delivered half of the child, and the half is remained within the uterus, and that the mother died, and the child was little half out. That really shook me, and one dead body I saw there. And the other dead body, it came out from the Sandeep. Lastly, I got the identity of the dead body there, Sandeep. That a young girl with dress of the first night of the marriage, including the all use of cosmetics, ornament, all these things, came out. When tide started, it was her first day of the marriage. So that also, this picture gave me little shaken that why this death on that day. This is what two things at least I remember. And other thing, I had so many queries about the people, how they died and all these things. One person told me about his own family, and that in the early morning when the tide came, the water was coming like a hill. He observed that the water is coming out from like a hill towards them, towards his house. So finding no other means, he had 3 children and wife in his house and himself. So they had nothing to take the shelter, and they, this roof of the house, bamboo made roof of the house, they just caught hold of over the bamboo made roof of the house, which driven out with the tide. So he caught hold of his two children, and his wife caught hold of one child. When the tide was just, it was going up, down like this, the water, and storm was there, rains was there, and then his wife suddenly became semi-conscious, and she took out her own hand from that child. And the child was 4 years or 5 years age like this. So naturally this man was thinking that the child will just fall down. But when with the tide, when it came to just hit the embankment, that embankment, then there are some people who caught hold of it and rescued, and that was happening like this. At that time he saw that his child was still there, and the snake caught hold of the child as well as bamboo, and he saw that, and he was confident that the snake has bitten his child, and the child died. But when the child was taken, when it was just came near to the side banks, the snake, in presence of the people, so many people, the snake just yes, went out slowly and slowly, releasing the child's leg, and he was confident the child has died, but he found that the child is still alive. And then they found that the child is alive, and only because of this safety of the child, the snake played this role. So this was one story, and the second story is a little pathetic one. When I visited Sorgangsi, just out of curiosity, I was asking so many people what they did like this. In that case, one man, he told he had 4 sons. And he was just describing how he released 3 sons' dead body from his own hand. He caught hold of the 4 sons with that type of roof of the bamboo-made roof. And it was when the high tide was coming, and it was rolling like anything. And in each rolling, one child was just dying. Then after first rolling, he saw that the one child died. He thought that at least let me save my 3 other sons, and he just released one child to the sea, whom he found that due to the suffocation of the water died. In the other rolling, he found another one child died. He released with the hope to save another 2. And the third rolling, he lost another son, and he released them, and the only one was survived. So he was telling me that, are you father of children? I said yes. Then he was telling me, while I was asking him about his experience, then he was telling me, now you can understand what would be the experience of a father when he released 3 dead children from his hand in a few minutes of time. So it was really pathetic to me. This is what just after the cyclone, what I met.
You stayed long time there after the cyclone?
Yes, about 1 month time I was there.
And
this
then
my hospital.
And then you came back how many months after to start the Child Alive program?
Yes, immediately after.
Immediately after?
This, I came to Dhaka, to national headquarters. I proposed for this Child Alive program should be based in coastal area preferably. And this, our Secretary General and the Director of Health Services, they also agreed when I briefed them each and everything, and this necessity of starting coastal areas, which are, in my opinion, a little deprived areas. So they also agreed, and they just told me that you just plan and design and select the site. Then I selected the site and planned and designed, and I had a demographic survey in the month of January 1985, and after that the implementation started in July 86.
July 86.
Yes, January 85, not 85, January 86, the baseline survey was there.
Yes, and July 86 you start the program. So do you have some stories or some anecdotes that you remember from
stories,
this implementation time?
Not so important stories there. One thing that it was really difficult to bring out the ladies.
Yes.
from the homes.
Really?
Even I did not, 2 or 3 times I got failed to procure a single lady for the volunteer, to be the volunteer. And it was very difficult to find out the ladies. And when I got asked about the immunization status and all these things, the vaccinator told me that he has been threatened by the local people not to enter in their premises in future. I asked them the reason. They said that he vaccinated one child adjacent to that my project area, and the child has developed some sepsis, fever, and all this. Actually, what happened? These people were not having this knowledge that after following vaccination there is little changes, there is little fever or some untoward effect is definitely there, symptoms, and they are not aware of it, and they are not mentally prepared. So the vaccinator was given a threatening not to enter into that area. This was the level of the people. Then I thought that how it can be achieved or overcome this problem. There's somehow, this. There are two types of religious peoples are there. One Hindus and one Muslim community. So, and this Muslim community is imam or a Maulana, which they commonly say. He has got too much influence in the area, and Hindu Purohit, this man, you saw this man, Purohit with red, yellowish red cloth. Yes, in the community, and with a long hair, old man with beard. He is the Hindu priest there. So I had close talks with them and in different occasions. And I tried to convince these two men. And I took some words from them that at least if you don't help me, but you do not speak ill of me, my project, your only soundness in the perhaps may help me. However, they told, all right, we will neither speak in favor of you nor will speak against of you. With that assurance, I came back to Dhaka. And second time when I went there, I was able to find out 2 volunteers. And gradually I found out the volunteers. Though I had some little previous reputation about the management of that hospital, while some of the locality people were knowing me, they also played an important role to help me.
But if you would have chosen an area where nobody would have known you, you think it would have been much more difficult?
No, I don't think it's difficult, because knowing is not the criteria only.
Yeah.
No, if one is known, is maybe a little favored, but it is not that it is a criteria. But our main problem is that coastal area people are mostly previously knowing that Red Cross means relief agencies. In most of the time, they get relief from the Bangladesh Red Cross Society or different Red Cross Society, because these are always affected area. After some intervals, they get in a disaster and gets relief. So previously, before starting the health sectors, they were mostly accustomed with getting reliefs. So naturally, they are expecting some relief they will get, some food they will get, some clothes they will get. Instead of this, they are getting some only teaching from us. So naturally, they were not accepting so easily. Now we think, but in other parts, the people has got very much good respect for the Bangladesh Red Cross Society, so naturally they will accept it very nicely.
But now tell me exactly how you found your first volunteers. They are all Hindus. You have no Muslim lady, yeah?
Yes. First, the area we started work is mainly Hindus.
Oh yes.
Mainly Hindus. Even Hindus ladies were not coming out for the volunteership. And one Muslim girl we chose, and she was working there. Dr. Don Sutherland also saw, Pets Mike also saw this girl, and she was very nice one, but she was unmarried one, so her father arranged a marriage, and naturally she resigned from the job.
Why? Naturally.
She is going out from our area.
Oh, that's why with the next one.
That is why we have I have
Yeah.
selected another
Yeah.
two Muslim lady
Yeah.
for this area, for the Muslim areas.
Yeah.
And there, that area mainly of Hindus, therefore we selected little Hindus ladies
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And secondly, the Muslim girls are not willing much to come out,
Yeah.
and education is also very less with the Muslims of that area. And nowadays, of course, these two girls whom I recruited primarily, I think they will be very good of use. They're very smart. One read up to class 9 and the other one is class 6. Last time when I visited, I had an interview with them, and I think that one of them will be in future our child life team leader there.
The one I followed more closely? This
No,
one?
no, no.
Another one?
No, another two
Another
whom I
two.
selected.
Oh, in
This
another
time.
area then?
Yes.
Oh, I see. That's good. And they are married, or there is a risk they will get married?
Yeah, that of course we cannot interfere in the personal life. We can
But
interfere.
it seems that you
Yes.
can interfere a
Yeah.
little bit at least.
We can interfere in their in the disease life, but we
Yeah.
cannot interfere the personal life, particularly for the ladies.
Oh, but you
And-
told me that
if
you...
I can little
Yeah.
have some influence, but I do not want to tell it in front of you, because
Yeah.
you are a lady and you will also oppose me at that time.
Oh, no, you
Therefore,
told
I
because
am
I know
afraid
that...
to speak before you,
No.
that I can
I-
create obstruction.
I know that here the ladies have nothing to say in these matters. That will be decided by the fathers, isn't it?
Right.
So you told me that you went to see one father. You have already been?
Yes, I told her father that you don't, please, for God's sake, we have trained, and he knows that I took too much trouble to train these girls, and they are trained by myself directly.
Yeah.
Days after days I was staying in Sunagazi and teaching them, and it was very difficult for them to pick it up.
Yeah.
And you have examined them now,
Yeah.
they are how nicely delivering speeches
Yeah.
in the, and this demonstrating the people. But at that time it was very difficult. I think about half an hour time I took to bring out the word diarrhea from them,
Oh, really?
from their mouth. It was so difficult.
Why?
Because they were they have only class 5 level education, and mostly they are domestic worker. No, not actually this education oriented, not actually education oriented.
Yeah.
So little, and at that time they were very shy. Even if they do not understand, they do not ask the questions. They were not at all, during teaching, they are not at all cooperating, just hearing what I say. When I ask something, they do not speak. It was. So gradually now you have seen this, how much they have picked up. And I hope in the next year, these girls, I will take them out for the volunteers training, years training in different places also.
But what did you ask to the father?
Yes, I asked her father not that you have seen so much troubles I took, and if you arrange her marriage outside my project area, at that time I will have another difficulty to train another one. So for please God's sake, you don't arrange any marriage outside the project area. Please arrange a boy somewhere within my project area for her marriage and all these things.
Yes.
Her father, of course, say yes. I will try of my best to keep your words.
And what about the other one, the one who is married and has children? You told me that you
Yes.
manage some special family planning information.
Yeah, that of course I requested her and her husband. I brought her husband one day to my office and there at Sunagazi, and I convinced him that at least within 2 years or 3 years, please do not try to be father again, as she will be in, I will be in troubles if this lady is again going to be pregnant. And he has also accepted, and they have now under this family planning, so that I can freely get her work in a proper way. Otherwise, 3 months time she is entitled to get out of work, maternity leave. So I'll be paralyzed at that time. I hope.
And what about the other volunteers? There are other ones you have managed to keep in a working stadium?
Pardon?
There are other volunteers you have also been managing things in a way you are sure.
Now for the
boys
I have no problem.
Yeah.
One matriculate boy, this Tajendra, he is working very nicely. And the other boy, he is also a CPP volunteer. He is working also nicely. The other girl, she's a student also. Part time she is doing. We are not giving much program to her, little programs, because we are keeping the next one. If one resigns, the other one. Very recently another mother also resigned because she has a childbirth, and now her husband is not allowing her to work. She has 3 or 4 children, and she is already burdened with her children and domestic works. So her husband is not allowing her, and therefore she has stopped the working. So already I am shortage of one. The second one, the Muslim girl one, she has resigned, and therefore I am apprehended about these two. If one leaves for the marriage and the other one develops a pregnancy, then my whole program will go, but I will have another more troubles to prepare another. The preparation of volunteers is very difficult. Somebody learns nicely but cannot speak nicely. Somebody delivers speeches nicely, but they cannot convince the people. Someone can convince, but her face may not be very convincing. That it needs sweet tone, sweet face, maybe black complexion, that doesn't matter, but tone should be sweet. One should have a befriending nature. Some qualities of a volunteer should be there. Befriending nature, smiling face, patience must be there, and that even the mother speaks ill of things, she is to adjust herself. At the same time, she should be so much intelligent. She should understand the psychology of her clients, what they believe. Even say if a mother says, this is what you are speaking against of the religion, immediately she is to accept that, yes, you are right. And she should say, or she should just show her that, yes, mother is right, she is wrong. And gradually she is to convince her. Not that outstate, no, you are an uneducated lady, you do not know, and I am trained, I know. She should not say like this. And therefore, not only the teaching about diarrhea or immunization, besides this, we have to teach so many things. Their manner, IQ, this way of talking, way of befriending, and way of even how to walk on the street, so that the male people, the other people should not discourage them that they are so stupid girls going like this or that. That also we train them. That how in pair they will go from one house to another with smiling face, they are to speak. If anybody speaks anything, very mannerly, they are to reply, and all these things we have to train. So training takes too much time for them.
So it's important not to lose them.
Yeah, I don't want to lose them.
Now, can you tell me, but take your coffee first,
yes.
And then you tell me some good memories that you have of the implementation of the program, some nice stories, and some not nice ones which happened, some difficult ones, if you remember some.
I don't think, because difficult, in my dictionary, I don't find this community work is difficult. If one can adjust with the community. The major difficulty I faced is a mother who is still looking for me. And that, this taking of weight of the children for nutritional purpose, in some areas, weight taking is regarded by the mother is a very bad thing. And following taking of weight, their children will be reduced. They believe in it. So coincidentally, if a child reduces due to some other disease or something, or like this, that blame comes to me. So somebody we make them understand something. Last survey, about 10% was again resisting like anything. Volunteers were failed, all were failed, and ultimately I interfered, and I found also in some places I was not succeeding. Lastly, in one house, I met one mother. She was resisting like anything and she was not allowing at all. After about half an hour, I convinced the mother and she allowed her child to be weighted. And we recorded the weight. I came. Nowadays, my volunteers are telling this child is gradually reducing. One day I told one of my volunteers to bring out this child and to show me, and I'll find what is the actual cause, whether it's without the knowledge of her mother. Then my volunteer arranged the child to bring to me with the help of the child's cousin. I saw that the child actually is just increasing by length. This is the time, sometimes when they suddenly increase in length, at that time it is reduced and this. And perhaps he had a very pot-bellied abdomen, maybe due to some ascariasis or this worms, maybe there, that has also reduced. And now this child had a little reduced in size, and the mother is searching me that she want to abuse me, that why, and make me responsible, why I weighted this child and